right. Hey, how are you doing, Shay? How you doing, sis?
Great. How are you?
All right. So we're gonna get right into it. I was asked a question from a few people before, and they were asking me, was there such thing as um a victimless crime? So I wanted to put that out there and ask you, how do you feel about that? Do you believe that there's a such thing as a victimless crime?
No,
And why do you say that?
because everyone gets hurt in the outcome.
Of a crime. So you feel the impact
The
of
person
crime.
who becomes the victim, their family gets impacted, and the person who's doing the victimizing is impacted.
Okay. All right. I agree with you on that. So basically, crime, the impact of crime is very broad. It's not like isolated to the traditional victim of the crime.
Right.
So I wanted to ask you at some point in time, did you ever have any family members who were incarcerated?
Yes,
Okay. So you know firsthand what dealing with the judiciary system and the prison system is like.
absolutely.
Okay, so can you take us back to the moment incarceration entered your family?
It was a shock. I think it was more so I was like baffled by it, but it was like even when you hear the crime and you hear like what the cops do, it's like they be playing with their authority. They play with their authority a lot. So a lot of times, certain people get incarcerated um, off of assumptions. Now, I'm not saying that sometimes these people aren't in need of some type of rehab, but not all the time is the situation the way it looks for incarceration. And then when they incarcerate you, it's like you go to court and it's like, oh no, we're gonna postpone it to next time. We're gonna postpone it to next time. We're gonna postpone it to next time. It's like we got lives out here. Like, yeah, you caught me doing what you think you thought I was doing, but like that doesn't necessarily mean that I was doing it the way you thought I was doing it, and for it to be a crime.
So do you? So who is it that you saying that you currently have in your life that's incarcerated?
My two sons, my 24-year-old son, and my 21-year-old son,
Okay.
and my incarcerated.
And your man is incarcerated. Wow. So what I wanted to know is in regards to your son or your man, I would more or less point this question towards your sons. How did their incarceration shift the dynamics in your family, whether it was economically, financially, or in terms of extra responsibilities being shifted to other people?
Okay, so as for my 24-year-old, he got incarcerated back to back. So he had did 8 months. He went to a college party, and the driver of the car decided that he wanted to reverse the car. He got incarcerated after already being incarcerated. My 21-year old, he's my college kid. That's the one that's supposed to be going to college for football. That he's also a dad. So he also was my babysitter after my kids got out of school to watch them until I got home from work. So
you basically
impacted it a whole lot because I have a 11-year-old and a 9-year-old. Not saying that they be in the house by themselves because they don't, but it's like I gotta find people or put them in after school programs in order for them to maintain some type of babysitting until I get off of work because they got my son off of reversing a car and then it smelled like weed.
Okay, so basically, the immediate impact it had is you had to kind of shift the kind of babysitting routine slash the parental guidance and governing routines in your household to make sure that your younger children had someone who would watch over them while you still had to go out and basically earn a living. Okay, so you also said that you have a partner, your man who's currently incarcerated. So you have a lengthy experience in timing with during this journey, when have you felt the most alone? And what kind of support, if any, made a difference for you?
So, my man, you feel lonely at night. You feel lonely when it rains. I'm scared of thunder and lightning. I don't care if it's on this podcast neither. I don't care. I'm
Yeah.
scared of thunder and lightning. And so
Yeah.
I don't have nobody to like roll up under like. So I have a teddy bear that he
Uh-huh.
bought. So then I like lay with that. But like when it's thunder and lightning, I'll be on
Yeah.
edge. So it's like
Uh-huh.
at night or when I'm ready for a visit,
Uh-huh.
or a phone call, and my phone call hours go past or my visit hours go past, and then when I finally get a phone call, it's like, oh, we was on lockdown.
So it's a lot of inconveniences that takes place, and it's like it weighs down on you mentally.
Yes, absolutely. And then the visit app, they never have dates. Like
Uh-huh.
they don't have dates. They never have dates. You gotta get in when you for this. You gotta try 2 o'clock in the morning, 12 o'clock in the night. Like you just never know.
So most people, so basically, that's that. Like, it's basically it, a lot of the inconveniences of prison impacts your day to day, emotionally, physically. It basically kind of impacts your day to day, basically. Um, has has any form of grief shown up in ways you didn't expect, mentally, emotionally, or even physically, since the incarceration of your children you mentioned?
Hmm. Probably like when I get invited on like double dates, and I gotta be like, I gotta come by myself. I come as the third wheel,
Yeah,
or just not being able to communicate when I want. Like I can't call the jail.
yeah.
I have to wait for him to call. So I have to wait until the hours of operation or what have you. Like, and it's just like by the time he called, I forgot what I had to say. It's like,
Yeah.
uh, or
So
by the time he
so
called, I done already sent out an email. So I'm telling him what I done put in the email because it took so long to call. And it's like now he reading the email. It's like I already know what she got to say. It's like a month.
yeah, it's a lot. It's mentally draining. So you said, as you said, outside of having your two sons being incarcerated, your man is incarcerated, and I know a lot of stigmas come with whether it be your children who have committed crimes in your community and you have to see the faces of people that they may have did these things to, or you have your significant other who, in this case, is incarcerated. So you may have family members or different people who may feel a certain way about you being, wrapped up in a relationship with a person that has been incarcerated, right? My question is, um, what assumptions or judgments have you endured from others, friends, family, right? And has that played a part on your emotional wellness in regards to they know you may be enrolled in a relationship with someone in prison? So what assumptions do people just assume?
So they assume that I'm taking all of my money and putting it on this man's book. They believe that, oh, everything he's saying, he only saying because he's booked and ain't nothing going to be fulfilled when he come home. Not realizing that, sometimes I feel like your friends forget who you are as a person, and
Uh
then
huh.
just like, oh, well, because she loves this person or because she's in love with this person, she's a different person. And like, I'm always going to be the same. I take everything with a grain of salt. I love the spit out of my man's mouth, but
Yeah.
at the end of the day, nobody can persuade me about anything. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, when you come home, I'm gonna be on the same thing I'm on when I email him. The only person that changes is him. But like I told him, at the end of the day, depending on how many years you do, ain't no man coming out here wanting no relationship after doing 13, 16, 18, 20 years. That's like being locked in for incorporating that.
So you feel like you would take an understanding approach if your man came home and felt like he needed to take a walk around the block as long as he didn't bring nothing home.
I wouldn't. Just communicate that with me. Like communicate it with
yeah.
me. Because being in a relationship with somebody and you gotta look at me every day, I'm gonna start looking like a CO. For 20 years. Why you with me every day? You don't feel like a CO. You like, oh my God, I gotta get with this. Just talk to me. Like, talk to me about it. Like, we communicate. You know what I'm saying? I seen this video out here. I want, you know what I'm saying? All right, but you gotta do a little bit more research. Because we be having some stuff. I'm 44. I never had nothing. And the day I get something, I'm telling you, like.
Yeah. So that's a lot of understanding. I hope. I hope that's very understanding. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm just coming from a man's perspective. That's a very neat and cool way of looking at it. So the person who's able to have, that type of, I guess, leisure or ability to be able to do such a thing in their life, I would think that they would try and handle it accordingly. But since we're on the topic of crime, I wanted to know: have you ever been a victim of crime directly?
No, people don't really play with me.
Okay. So then my next question because that leads into my next question, which comes back to the family member. Have the experience of having a loved one incarcerated changed how you think about the impact of crime, whether it be forgiveness, healing, or self preservation?
Because everything is not what it seems. Even though my sons, neither one of my boys, from first time or second time, neither one of them really did anything like that drastic. But they're being held as if whatever they did was drastic.
Yeah.
And everything is not what it seems. It could be a car it could be a caravan or SUV with 12 guys and 6 guns. That doesn't mean that everybody in this car know that it was guns in this car. Because you gotta think people probably pulled up on you. So you won't get in the car and be like, is there guns in here? No, that ain't what you do. You pull up, you get in the vehicle, listen
go about your
bang,
business.
whatever song y'all gonna bang. If it's one of your homies, bro, put this joint on. Let me show you what I've been listening to. Y'all gonna pass to all of y'all. But who goes in the car and say, is there any guns in here?
Yeah. But it's kind of almost like a guy, especially a guy coming out of this type of a place. If that's not the immediate thing that would come to a person's head, which is not right. I'm a retired street guy, I would say, and that's definitely not the first thing that will come to your mind when you come and step into a car. But because we know what we're dealing with in the environment in which we come from and the people who we hang around, it kind of goes back to people, places, and things. Because you kind of basically got to think for others in regards to self-preservation. So if most people stick with the people, places, and things, you're right. They not only wouldn't have to think about asking whether there's a gun in the car, they just will automatically know it's not a gun in the car. But just because it's 6 guns in the car and there's 12 people in there, no one can assume every individual knew that there was a gun in the car. You're 100% right. You know what I'm saying? But my next question for you is what has been the most challenging part of staying connected emotionally and mentally with your loved one who has been incarcerated?
Early morning phone calls when you really want to go to sleep, or when you just went to bed at 4:00 in the morning and they calling you at 6. Or you be off of work, you off of work this particular morning, but they get out early this morning, so you thinking you're gonna be able to sleep and your phone go off at 8:00 in the morning, and now you stuck woke when that 15-minute phone call is up. Now you up for hours when you're really off from work. Or ready for a phone call all day. Your phone, you on your way home, but your charger don't work, and as you're in the middle of your 15 minutes, your phone.
Yeah. That has happened to me as the caller from prison. Without a doubt.
You wait all day for a phone call from someone, and while you on the phone, you're in the middle of the conversation and you hear the bell ring because they gotta get off the phone, and
Yo, that bell give me PTSD. I don't know about y'all, but that bell working on giving me PTSD because I'm right next to the bell. So if the bell burning y'all out and y'all hearing it through the phone, just imagine hearing it live and direct.
When you hear the bell, you be like, as soon as I hear the bell, I'll be like, I guess you gotta get off the phone. Like, yeah.
Ain't that something? That's deep, right?
Like, oh, you thought I was hungry?
Uh-huh.
But it is though, the difference with state and fed, I guess you would say, is my sons call me all the way up until 11:30.
Wow. Speaking of your sons, right?
And they little tablet, and if we having something like, let's just say it's Ramadan, so normally we would have way more. Tonight probably would be iftar night because normally during Ramadan we have iftars twice a week. Not really sure what we. I guess we slacking this year, but if my son called and said, like my son called before I got logged on, that's why I was taking so long. If he knew that we was all together, he'd be like, all right, well, I'm gonna call y'all back at this time when everybody there, and I'm gonna do a video visit. And then he'll do a video visit when the phone hang up. He'll call right back. My son called back to back to back. Like if we having a conversation, he'd be like, all right, mom, I'm gonna call you right back, and he called right back. This man calls all the way up until 11:30 at night. I feel like if Dad could get that same treatment, if y'all could get your tablets to be able to call out.
Yeah.
All the way up until a certain time, and y'all don't have to wait until the phones reboot, and y'all don't have to, as long as y'all got that money on that line, if y'all tablets, y'all had y'all earphones and them tablets, and didn't have to deal with them phones, I feel like it would be way better.
For a bad situation in which most of us put ourselves in, a lot of conveniences would make this a lot better. But I see that you was touching on your son, so I'm gonna speak on your son or your sons with this next question, right? When your son or both of your sons was sentenced and sent to prison, what part of you felt like it was being locked up with them?
Oh, mommy had to get a second job to make sure both of her sons was okay every week. So I have a weekend job where I do doubles on Saturdays and Sundays, and I work every other Friday to make sure they get everything that they need while they're in there. That's commissary, clothes, cosmetic, phone time, and whatever else they doing.
I respect that. That's a definitely honorable thing.
Because I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I'm getting old. I don't have no hair yet, but I feel like I'm gonna get gray hairs if I keep going this way.
So let me ask you this, because you know your man since he was young, since he was a boy. So the question that I would like to know from you is how do you separate the boy you knew from the crime he committed, especially when others may seem to have a different, vision or view of him?
So to know him is to know that everything is a metaphor. He got like everything is like a rhyme or a metaphor. So he's like a jokester. So to hear what actually got done, it was like, who did that?
And you feel the same way with it? Do you feel the same way when it comes to your boys? If it was like, how do you look at the things that they did compared to the children you raised?
Oh no! So that oldest boy, he definitely, that was, I knew he was going to be a different breed at the age of 1, riding down the apartment steps on his bike, saying "wee." I knew he was going to be a different breed. I knew it. So my son's birthday is May 24th, and we're Muslim, and he was born Muslim, and we don't believe in zodiac signs, but I feel like zodiac signs, it kind of gives you a little brief on the character. and my son turns into, I guess what you would say, his altar person in about May, and like his birthday is the 24th, so I'm gonna say around like May 8th. It's like something clicked, and ever since he was in school, if you did something to this man from September to April, he's getting you back in May.
So let me ask you this.
And it's gonna be way more than you could ever imagine.
So let me ask you this.
Everything always.
So let me ask you this.
Yeah, I already knew he was gonna be the one.
So how has this experience, right, altered the way you see motherhood, protection, and your own sense of responsibility?
I'm a ride or die mom. It is what it is. Take it for what it's worth. If I gotta help you with an alibi, that's what I'm gonna do. If I gotta help you with stuff, I'm gonna do it. Like I get mad, angry, sad. I'm going to tell you about yourself, but at the end of the day, I'm going to still hurt any way that I can. I'm going to cuss you out. I'm going to probably be aggravated when you call. I'm always aggravated when they call. I'm never happy when they call. I'm always mad. I don't, but it's like, at the end of the day.
You like to try to make it clear.
That's because they book. Parenthood don't stop because they in jail. Parenthood
So you try to make it clear that what you did or what you may have pled guilty to was wrong. But also at the same time, I'm your mother, so I'm also going to still be your nurturer and the person who loves on you and be there for you. Okay. So how has your relationship with your sons changed behind prison walls, emotionally, spiritually, or just, psychologically?
Well, it didn't.
So you don't feel like y'all skipped a beat?
Other than I'm saying you always mad or you always angry, but I feel like all my kids say that. So it's like no different. My son like for y'all, like mom and a son's bond is like it's always.
So when it comes to your two boys and your man, what does hope look like for you today in regards of rehabilitation, forgiveness, just acceptance of their parts or roles they played in getting themselves put in prison? Any form of contrition or anything like that?
I feel like everybody is exhausted. Everybody's burnt out, and I feel like everybody's gonna come home and do what they're supposed to do. Again, my sons didn't really do anything to anybody, so when they come home, they can just go on with their life. My baby boy, my next to the youngest, he just got a grant from this program that he's in while he's incarcerated. So the grant, when he gets out, they're going to help fund his him as a business. Also, they enrolled him into college. So when he comes out, he already has the spot on the football team for the college.
Okay.
He's a different team and has to be state time for Philly because he's in Jersey. But either way you look at it, I see a change in everybody. As for my man, like I know he burnt out. I know he's tired. So I know damn well. Again, if he do come out, it wouldn't be on the same waves. It definitely wouldn't be on the same note. He would definitely have himself together.
So do you think people? Do you think people coming out of prison should change the people, the places, and the things in their environment, and it would give them a better chance at a lower recidivism rate in regards to coming back to prison or reoffending?
Absolutely. So if you went in and they was on the corner, and then you come out and they own the corner, that's not the people that you want to be with. Because then you're not then having a 9 to 5 is not in their that's not their forte. So their forte is doing whatever they want to do until it's time to go scoop their bread up. So you have to, in order to feel comfortable about what you're doing and rehabbing yourself, you have to put yourself in that element of being around the working class, or come out and open up your own business. You gotta come out with a plan. You can't come out. You can't come out of jail, and I'm being real honest. You can't come out of jail head first, especially with the time frame you went to jail and the time frame you come out. I say, you're doing any time over 5 years, you gotta have a plan. Because it's cars out here that look like spaceships. When he went in, everything looked like a Cadillac. Now motherfuckers driving shit. It's a totally different element out here now. So it's like you gotta come out with a plan. You gotta come out like, listen, this is what I'm gonna do. This is where I'm gonna go. This is what I plan on doing. Like, and everybody around you that loves you, that answers the phone for you. All the people that saying they can't wait till you come home, everybody needs to help with that plan.
Exactly. So basically,
if you got all these people that you calling on the phone and I wait till you come home. I gotta wait till you come home. When you come home, you can't not answer the phone now. You can't not answer the door now. Everybody gotta come up with a plan, because it's not like he's gonna come out and go straight to a gig.
Yeah. So it leads me to my next question. If a lot of individuals, right, and I can answer this question myself if it was posed to me, but if a lot of individuals who actually committed crimes knew the impact of their crime, and not just the small impact or the immediate impact, but the more broader impact, do you think that they would have a different viewpoint in regards to the decisions that they made in their community?
Wait, say that part again.
So individuals that go out and commit crimes, the last thing that most of us, because I've been in prison for the past 22 years, so I may be coming now, a lot more mature and eloquent and seeing and thinking things from a different standpoint. But at the time, 22 years ago, before I came to prison, when I was in the street, living it and doing it, I wasn't thinking about the impact of crime. The impact of crime was the last thing that I thought about before doing any type of crime. So my question that I ask is that if people where we come from, or just abroad, every hood, every neighborhood, everywhere, prior to committing the crime, do you think that if an individual thought of the actual impact of their crime, do you think it would have any bearing on whether they move forward with a crime or think twice about doing this crime?
A lot of times, depending on what the crime is, you ain't thinking about anything. You moving off an impulse. So, and from my understanding, sometimes with jail, it's like you have to be a strong-willed person to even mature or think past the BS. Yeah. So a lot of times, jail do more bad than good. You just gotta be some determination type time to say, you know what, I ain't doing this no more. I'm sick and tired of being around. I guess in most cases you would say I'm sick and tired of being around all these niggas. Yeah. I'm sick and tired of being around all these men. But it's like a lot of times, sometimes depending on what you went in for, it doesn't help. Because it's like, even when you went there, let's just say most men, I'm going to say this, most men, you can't play with a man because of their ego. Like, you got to watch how you yeah, because of the ego. So if you're a man who don't let anybody talk to you any type of way, when you go inside of those walls, that's the same time you're going to be on. Now you're around a bunch of men all day long. You got some niggas that play too damn much. And you like, I don't play like that. I don't play like that. Now they like, oh, look at this bitch ass nigga. Oh, no, I don't play like that. Now you stabbing them up, beating them up, doing whatever, and going into the hole. So you going to go to the hole 1,000 times before you say, you know what? I really gotta look at this like this shit ain't worth it.
Uh-huh. So basically, what I'm gathering and what I've been able to experience firsthand is you have to want it deep within you in order for it to change. If you don't put forth the effort and the energy, seek it, search it, find it, you won't find it, right? And you'll basically find yourself, falling prey to your ego, like you said, back and forth out of the hole. So now you back and forth out of the hole, so you're not getting anything out of this time that you now have to sit and reflect.
Right, but then you also got the ones, let's talk about the ones who may go in there and be like, you know what, I'm going to get my shit together. And then they make a phone call home and mom done passed away. And in this time frame of them being incarcerated, let's just say they've been, all right, we're going to use your numbers, 22 years. Grandma, grandpa, dad, mom, everybody was alive before you went in. Now they all gone. Now you looking at it like, I got shit else to live for. It is what it is. It is what it is when I come out. It is what it is in here because what do I got to live for? So again, it's all about willpower and determination.
Exactly. And that's where the difference between a low frequency thinking individual and a high frequency thinking individual come into play. Because you use me as an analogy, but I am that analogy, right? I've lost both of my parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles in the course of the 22 years that I've been in prison. But because I have this go, 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 never give up mentality and mindset that this time that I've spent in prison can't be for nothing. I have to get something out of it. I continue to excel. I continue to look for higher learning. I continue to self-educate and seek out self-help programs, self-help books, so on and so forth. Because if I didn't better myself during the course period of this time, then what would this time have all been for? It would have just been for nothing. And, so I definitely agree with you on that. I've been able to stay out of trouble, and I've been able to get my mind right, get my physical right, get my spiritual right, all simply because the strong willpower that I have to succeed and be something greater. So I definitely agree with you on that. Is it anything that I haven't covered, like that, about whether it be about prison or about the impact of crime that you feel that should be covered?
Hello, right now, bro. Get the fuck out of here. No, you touch bases on everything.
Okay. So I appreciate your time and your effort, Shay. And we'll conclude this episode of the Impact of Crime. I greatly appreciate your lively, colorful Philly nature because you coming out of Philadelphia, right?
Yeah, I live in the Philly.
Born and raised in Philadelphia. Definitely can hear it in your voice. But I appreciate you showing up and letting the world hear your voice and your opinion on the impact of crime and the weight it leaves behind. And we look forward to speaking to you again.
Thank you.